discussing abuse in different natures. Well, in different ways it shows up. I don't want to say nature, but in different ways that it shows up. And I will be getting very aggressive, absolutely, because they hate to see it. That negative voice that be in your mind, it hates to see you up here glowing and showing and brilliant, okay, and strong and successful and overcoming. So yeah, this is gonna be a topic. And y'all see me looking camera to camera because I'll be looking at you all, my Instagram live loves, and I'll also be looking at YouTube. And make sure you follow, before we start anything, make sure you follow the Butterfly Experience podcast, okay? On Instagram, it's right in the caption. The comment is pinned. Peace and love, everybody. Welcome. Come in. Wow, it's so good to see you all. My mama on here, y'all. Love it. So yes, as you can see, oh snap, the thing then went off. As you can see, the topic is, like I said, stop making the abuser the victim. And I'm gonna grab my notes here, but I pretty much already know the butterfly backstory. Oh yeah, before I get into that too, make sure y'all, we here every Monday. We try to do 7:30, we try to do 8. The snow really caught me off guard, so that's why I'm a little late. But between 7:30 and 8 o'clock every Monday night, you could catch me, you could see this beautiful face, okay? And we can get into some healing topics. Wednesday we post affirmations, and Friday it's a surprise. So tune in every week, 3 episodes a week. The butterfly backstory on this, which is, for those who don't know, just where I talk about why I came to this topic. So this all is a domino effect. It's like the butterfly, when they flap the wings, create the hurricane. It's really a snowball, right? So I just did 3 metaphors in my mind. But yes, so I got to this point because I woke up, I rose like a week ago, a couple weeks ago, and I just had this thought in my mind of like, actually I just realized it probably started in Miami, but I had this thought in my mind of like, I'm tired of this negative voice bullying me in my head all the time. And I just felt this surge of aggression with it. Like, stop bullying me, stop making me feel this way. I don't want to feel this way. So I just got right with her. And if you want to know about that whole journey, please tune in on Spotify and see that whole talk. Also, the New Year's Day live on the Butterfly Experience podcast is where I first like start getting this this feeling of like, stop playing with me. But yeah, I talk about it on Spotify a lot. There are several episodes that you can tune into. My grandma's on here. Hey grandma. All right, so let's get right into it. So that's where it started off. That rising where I was like, I'm tired of feeling this way. I don't want to feel this way no more. I'm ready to get right with you. Stop talking to me like that. Stop talking about me like that. I'm not the things that you say I am. I am greatness. I'm love. I'm beautiful. I'm powerful. I'm strong. I'm smart. I'm all of these things. And I just backed it up with facts and got right with her, got her out of here and told her, open your lips again and you won't get beat the fuck up. Open your lips again. And that's exactly. And since then, she been scared to breathe in my direction, child. That negative voice been scared. She don't even want to look over here. You know how your parents whoop your ass and you just at all costs want to avoid going out in the living room or going by their bedroom? I don't even want to make noise to remind you that you just whoop my ass. You might find another reason to whoop my ass. That's the energy that negative voice is in, because she knows I'm not here to play with her. But anyway, so that's really what trickled down into today's topic. I realized that, and I had made an episode about this, but I got water on my phone that got ruined. But I was in the bathroom washing my face, which is when I do a lot of my episodes for Spotify, and I was realizing, wow, I really made a lot of space for this negative voice. Now, the reason that I came to this, because in the spirit of, it's very new age spirituality for like people to be like, okay, we're gonna make room for all of who we are, including our shadow, our flaws. Like, it's the intention and the sound is good, but I feel like it's led to us making a lot of space for those negative voices and letting them thrive and do their big one and get their rocks off, and it does nothing but harm us. So yeah, in the spirit of me embracing myself, I feel like I really embraced my shadow and really let her do her big one on me. And on top of that, I'll go even farther back to talk about like childhood traumas and things and how that also can bleed into where we are now. But yeah, I feel like I was making a lot of space because I was just empathizing and understanding like, oh, like, negative voice, like, you've been through a lot. You're trying to protect me. You're a bruised ego. Like, I know that you're only telling me these things because you can't whoop somebody's ass and be like, I'm whooping your ass because I love you. Like, you can't. I understand that for the parents in here. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it turns into one of those things where it's like you can't abuse somebody, and I'm not saying all ass whoops is that. That's not the conversation I'm trying to open up. I feel like I opened it up already, but you can't abuse somebody or do something that is harming somebody in the name of, oh, I'm trying to protect you, or I'm trying to, show you love. And I feel like that's what that voice, that's what, when we try to be overly understanding and empathetic with that negative voice of like, I understand why you're here. I understand why I think of myself this way. I understand the traumas that brought me to this point. So you make all these excuses and all these reasons, got that negative voice up in your head feeling like, oh, it's comfortable up here. She gets it. She knows why I'm here. She understands. She justifies why I'm here. She wants me here. And the next thing you know, they beat you the fuck up in a corner, and it's nothing you could do. You feel like it's nothing you could do about it because you started to believe them. You started to make what's supposed to be your home. You supposed to be running shit. You didn't make space for this other motherfucker to come in here and make you feel less than 25-8. Tell you where to go, how to be, and who to be, what to be. So I feel like that is a big issue when it comes to talking about negative self-talk and where it comes from, things like that. We make too much space for them to talk. If you punch somebody's teeth down their throat, they're not going to be talking. Am I tripping? So that's what basically happened. That's the butterfly backstory for how I got to this point. And like I said, I already told you in the beginning, it's going to come off a little aggressive because, again, and I said this in other episodes, it has to be that way because I was understanding for that negative voice. I was understanding. I was empathetic. I made time. I heard them out. I let them become a lifestyle, a practice. I watched what that does for me. And let me tell you, it don't do shit good. It's harmful, it's hurtful, it's painful. Every day making space for something that does nothing but talk bad about me or make me feel less than or less confident or lower my self-esteem or lower my standards. It doesn't do anything for me. So why am I still making space for it? Why am I still committed to it? Why am I still believing it? And what can I do to start getting away from this abusive relationship? Now, let me talk about, so that's the butterfly backstory to why I got to this point. Let me talk about some other points that I have noted here because I knew that was going to be easy to fly through. One of the main topics that I started off saying are negative voices are ops, not victims. I'll say that again. Negative voices are ops, not victims. Victimizing and overly empathizing with abusers in order to survive. So I'll just talk about that freely. I think that this practice not only starts with like some new age spirituality stuff of like embracing fully who you are, but I definitely could see how it could start in childhood. If you have people around you, whether it's a guardian, a parent, whoever is raising you, and the environment is harmful or abusive in any way, or whatever the case may be, as a child, you're going to try to make sense of that. You're going to try to justify it. You're going to try to make sense of it, understand it, whatever, because it's happening and you're a kid. You know what I'm saying? And it's mixed messages like, okay, this person loved me, but they also fucked me up a little bit and like make me believe these things about myself. And like, you know what the case may be, whether it's intentional or not on the part of the guardian. But yes, it's like, and I know that abuser is a heavy word, abusive is a heavy word, so I'm not trying to throw that around. So I'll use it in some cases I'll say harmful. But yeah, so like the people that are around you that are raising you at that young age are causing you harm. You know what I'm saying? And trauma. And again, as a child, you're trying to justify it. So that's your first negative voice because you aren't born thinking of yourself lowly. Like you don't come into this world thinking that. You just literally came from source. Why would you come into this world with some negative shit? But yeah, so that is the first voice. The first voice that you hear, whoever is raising you, and however, like, you know, even if it's habits, even if they're not necessarily doing it to you, but it's habits that they have that practice self-harm, or they are shitty towards themselves, or have low self-esteem, or whatever, you see that show up in whatever way. These are all things as a young sponge you are internalizing and making sense of. That's literally all we do when we're kids, is make sense of the world that's around us. We just fucking got here. You know what I'm saying? So everything is like, oh, well, this must equal this, and like I must need to do this to do that. And even if nobody's explaining it to us, then as kids we are plugging shit in. If a parent is not telling you why you never fucking see them, and every time you see them they bringing something harmful around you, or the case may be, if they're not explaining why the fuck that's happening, even if they are, you're a kid, so you'll never get it on an adult level. You're gonna punch shit in. My dad must, be out here pimping and stuff like that, because that's how you should treat women. Like, you should call them a bunch of bitches and disrespect them and put your hands on them in public and behind closed doors. Like, it must be because that's what women deserve. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're a daughter, if you're a young lady and you're watching that, then you might think that must be what I deserve. That's what's normalized. You again just punching shit in. Maybe if you asked the dad, he wouldn't say that. He'd be like, no, you don't deserve this, whatever. But again, you're making sense of it. So anyway, that's how you internalize negative voices, negative habits coming up. And I feel like the biggest point that I'm making tonight is when you're raised by somebody who causes you a lot of harm and trauma, again, you normalize it because you have to. You normalize it, you make sense of it, you justify it because you have to survive. And so when that internalized negative voice develops within you, you make space for it. Because that's what the fuck you did when it was your guardian. That's what you did when it was your parent. That's what you did when it was your older sibling that was raising you, grandma, whoever it was. You made space for them because you ain't have a choice. You made space. You figured out how to survive while also having that bully on your back. So now as an adult, a young adult, old adult, whatever age you are, and now it's existing up here. Now nobody's doing it to you necessarily. You're doing it to yourself because it's learned behavior, and you make space for it. You normalize it. You justify it. Whatever you need to do to allow it to exist, to allow it to thrive, so that you can keep on going at that mediocre. Not that you're doing anything mediocre, but that mediocre emotional feeling for the rest of your life, because that's what happened at a young age. So it's like, okay, I had this terrible existence then. Why would I think it would change? This is what life is. You kind of carry that. I hope that's resonating. I hope that's making sense. That's the conclusion I came to as I'm seeking understanding where this negative voice came from and why it felt so comfortable just thinking it was going to run up on me like that for all of this time. And why was it allowed? Where did I get that thought process from? And of course, this leads to accepting that type of abuse in your relationships, whatever your relationships are as an adult, romantic, platonic, professional, familial, whatever it is. Once you've normalized and justified and given that motherfucking negative voice a place to stay that was fully furnished and rent was half off for the first year, like once you've done that for the negative voice in here, you damn right they could go ahead and bring a roommate. Let that roommate be an abusive partner or an abusive mentor or an abusive employer, boss, whatever it is, or abusive opportunities. Like you just keep ending up in opportunities that are abusive and that remind you of what's not true, but what you believe in, which is you ain't shit, you don't deserve shit, ain't never gonna be shit, ain't never gonna have shit. Like for whatever reason. And again, I talk about this in another episode, so make sure you tune in on Spotify. Like we really start to, like that negative voice will really, as snakes will do, will literally try to make sense out of the abuse that they are bringing upon you. Like, oh, well, of course you don't deserve to be in a happy marriage. You don't remember when you was fucking with that person that treated you like shit and had you strung out or whatever the fuck it was, or had you pregnant and this, that, and the third. Like, why do you think you deserve to be in a happy marriage? Remember you relapsed on that person or relapsed on another person, or whatever the case may be. Why would I let you have that? You know what I'm saying? So it all becomes like, again, a snowball effect. And the negative voice, again, will really try to make shit make sense when it's like, whole time God says, I'm forgiven. God says there's always hope. God says I could walk in the mirror right now in this instant with you sitting right here, look in the mirror and say, this is not what I want to do no more. This isn't who I want to be. And I'd be justified because you're an abuser. So a lot of times, and I won't talk too much about it because I talk about it in another episode, a lot of times, again, the abuser, whether it's a negative voice, a real actual person, whatever it is, they will really try to pull up receipts. And because the receipts are things you are ashamed of and things you're trying to heal from, things you regret, things you hate about yourself or hate about your journey, when that nigga roll them receipts out, that snake, that negative voice roll them receipts out, it's going to hit your ass. Going to hit you, but you have to choose to be strong enough to energize the thought of you being better, the idea of you being better, to energize a better future. And remember that anything that Satan tries to hold against you, just become a real Christian. I didn't mean to come on here and say I'm a real Christian like this, but Satan, snakes, negative voice, whatever the fuck it is, they all hold hands and kumbaya together. Whatever that receipts that they rolling out, or whatever fucking red carpet of hot ass hell lava that they rolling out for you to walk on, it's a choice. And we'll get to that. Anyway, you can choose to exist in your power. And you can choose to want different, see different, be better. And you always were. That's the thing. Why do you think they're even so gung-ho on trying to convince you? That's what they're doing, convincing, trying to persuade. When you're trying to convince or persuade, it's usually because that's what you need in order to make somebody believe in that shit. When it's real and it's raw and it's true, how much, God ain't doing no motherfucking overly convincing for you niggas. I'm not overly convincing somebody of my worth. I said this on the last live. Last week we was talking about this. We talked about God's timing. I'm not fucking flashing shit for you to see value within me. Nigga, if you ain't see that shit when you walked in the door and seen me, then that's on you. My nigga, you the one that's dumb. I'm not about to overly, we're not about to do all of that. Like, I'm valuable because I'm creatively and I'm intentionally and purposefully created. Period. And that the grace that comes with that, the power that comes with that, is infinite. It doesn't go anywhere. Even when, the bullshit people or, your mind tries to bring up the things that you're ashamed about. What type of low-ass person or low-ass entity, whether it's in your mind or a person or whatever, do you gotta be to bring up my lowest times? And how dumb do you gotta be to bring up my lowest times and thinking that's my full reflection and that's who I am? No, the fuck it's not. Like, No, it's not. And as much as the bullshit you can roll out, I can roll out a sheet 10 times longer of all of the powerful, beautiful, positive things that I've done. So try someone else with that bullshit. Try someone else. Try someone who don't know themselves. Try someone who's not confident. And try someone who don't got God on their side, which most of us do. So, yeah. Anyway, yes, you find yourself internalizing so much hate because you've given all the grace, forgiveness, understanding, benefit of the doubt, love, etc. to everybody else who didn't deserve it, by the way, and now you resent yourself. This is another thing. When we start to really get comfortable with those negative thoughts, they really start to make themselves comfortable. We internalize that resentment. It's the same thing like you're in a relationship and every day you're like, God, I hate this motherfucker. Like, we done been together for fucking 10 years. This nigga wearing me down. You know what I'm saying? You mad at him, but when you can't even look in the mirror, ain't been able to look in the mirror for 5 years because you resent yourself, because you made space for somebody who's harmful, abusive, hold you back, whatever the fuck it is. So it's the same thing with the negative voice. Once you've made so much space for them, you start to resent yourself because why the fuck are you here? You shouldn't be here. And all that love and grace and space that you gave to that negative voice to exist and dog you every day is a space you should be giving yourself to grow, to heal, to breathe finally, and see you for the amazingness that you are. Child, I'm gonna move on to my next point. I see, it's so good. All right, this is the part where I talk about remember who you are. I'm gonna read exactly what I have here. You are not a pushover. You are not worthless, confused about the truth, or under the influence or spell that you cannot break. You have willpower. You have audacity, knowing, bravery. Stop excusing the inexcusable, tolerating the intolerable. Start delivering the necessary consequences for the criminal. It is a crime to abuse God's precious gem, such as yourself. Child, I was about to slip up, but all of that to say, because I have more points, but I wanted to really read that part because it's like, when the words came to me of like, stop excusing the inexcusable, stop tolerating the intolerable, and start dishing out the necessary consequences for these fucking criminals. Because it is a crime. It is a crime for you to be miserable every day. It is a crime for you to be so unhappy with yourself when you have the willpower, the magic, the backing, the resources, the talent, the skill, the education, the experience. Everything you need in order to heal yourself and attract better and let go of the bullshit ass person that's sitting in your mind, just sitting there getting fat off of your low self-esteem. That's why it's so low, because that nigga eat at it all day. All day. Snacking on that shit. Making full course meals out of your self-esteem. No wonder you ain't fucking got none left. Fuck. It is a crime. And that's why when I said hand out the necessary consequence to the criminal, it got real deep because, again, I have to be this aggressive because this is the same aggression that I had when I rose that day and was tired of feeling that way and was talking to that motherfucker that been bullying me for all of these fucking years. Bitch, I'm done. And if you say one more thing, you won't be able to talk no more. Fuck. It has to have that aggression because you did not deserve that shit. That's why. That's why it's coming with this. All the attitude, and the neck rolling, and the eye rolling, and the what's up, and the jumping at niggas. Yeah. Because it's a fucking crime for you to be that fucking depressed when you're this fucking great. And I'm not speaking from a high horse. I was feeling that way, a couple weeks ago? So this is not coming from, this is the fucking half horse, half man mouth, because I'm Sagittarius. That's why I said that. But yeah, this coming straight from the source. That's why I have to get aggressive, because I remember the nights crying myself to sleep. Okay? I remember all the experiences that the negative voice is trying to pull out to make me feel ashamed about myself. I remember all those experiences. I lived them. I chose them. I did that. I remember that pain. So, you damn fucking right. I'm coming with a fully loaded pistol by mine. Because this happiness, this confidence should have been here for all of them years that it wasn't. So it's the same thing when black people be like, when it comes to certain racist white people, where it be like, no, I'm whooping it. Like that shit that happened in fucking, what was it, fucking Virginia or whatever, wherever it was, and all the black people jumped in and they was whooping ass and shit. That wasn't just for that moment. This for all of the dumb shit. Just been doing shit for years. Yeah, that shit get activated. That ancestor shit, yeah. Whooping, I have the power of my fucking ancestors in this fucking punch that I'm about to put on your face. So that's why it's aggression. Because I remember all of the pain that I went through. I remember all of the hurt. I remember I was fighting tooth and fucking nail every day just to get out of bed. Just to fucking get dressed. Just to fucking do simple shit that should be fun. Should be easy. It even takes the joy out of enjoying your blessings. I can't even be fucking happy at this goddamn dope ass show that I done got fucking booked for a fat ass check. I'm sitting here thinking of all the reasons I'm unprepared. What? Like, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary bullshit. You can't even enjoy your marriage because you just so hung up on the exes that never married your ass anyway. Bitch, let it go. Fuck, enjoy the marriage that you're in right now because you deserve that shit. You deserve somebody that's going to take you shopping and take you on cruises and tell you you're beautiful and tell you they love you every day and not only when they did some fucked up shit. You deserve that child. Shit, you deserve that child with that person that you love so much. No, yes, you might have made mistakes. Maybe you're not ready, you feel like financially or whatever the case may be. If you don't have that baby and raise that baby and all that love, go ahead. You deserve that. You deserve a family. Just because you made some mistakes in the past, all right, that was before the kids. And if anything, it prepared you. So let all of that shit go. That child chose you. Have that child. Also, I am pro women doing whatever the fuck they want with their bodies. But these just be, certain messages for certain people. Yeah, but that baby. That baby is going to bless you in ways you cannot fucking imagine. And you sit here thinking you undeserving of motherhood. You are going to be the best mom a mom ever been to the best. Child. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. You're going to be the best mom. Don't worry about that shit. And can't nobody tell you how to do it because you were born to do it. I'll tell you one thing. My mom... Alright, then I'm going to get back on task. But what? People always talk about, your mom just go above and beyond and this, that, and the third. Yeah, I got a good ass mom. Okay, nobody's relationship with their mom is perfect, but I got a good ass mom. My mom didn't let us do shit that she felt was my kids ain't doing that shit. What? And she was always there. Shout out my mom. Shout out her choosing to have me because she could have easily been like, never mind. But she had me, and now I'm here with y'all. All right, so cringing at your confidence. Oh my goodness, I was doing this last night. That's my mama. And she has an art business. But yeah, I was doing this last night, cringing at my confidence because I was just like, who are you to be telling these people anything, girl? Because it was so abrasive. Like, so just like, this equals that and that equals that, bitch. And I'm telling you what it is. Bitch, how the fuck do you know? Oh, that's a neon sign. I want a neon sign so bad. How the fuck do you know what to tell these people? And you know what I wrote in my book? This is my answer to that. Who am I to XYZ? A guide, a messenger. Ooh, I told myself, right need. A soul brave enough to share. We need people who are brave, not fearless. People who decided, even after it all, to not trust the op and demolish them. Anyway, I wanted to say that because sometimes when we are, like, we might watch videos of ourselves, we was real confident, like, look at pictures or whatever the case may be, and just feel like, who am I to feel this way about myself? Because we felt differently for so long. We felt lower, or we operated in a sense of like not having a lot of confidence for so long. So when we see this different way of existing, it's like, ooh, it's cringy. It's like, ooh, what's that? That's new. I don't like it. It's sticky. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, but it's still natural. It's still natural, and it's what it's supposed to be. And when you're asking yourself, like, who am I to be the boss of this, or who am I to lead this, or who am I to be, taking in this blessing and thriving from it, you're exactly who God felt was deserving. So who are you questioning? Who are you really questioning? Are you questioning yourself? Are you questioning God's judgment? Because why would they give it to you if they didn't feel like you were worthy? And on top of that, a lot of times, I said this in my last live, you're more prepared than you think. You want to know who you are? And this isn't on my notes either. You want to know who you are? You're the same person that's in this moment that got all the way here after all of the abuse that you went through, after all of the trauma that you went through, after all the sleepless, crying nights, after all of the self-sabotage. All of those things, all of those years, and you're actually still here living, breathing, having a part of you that thinks that, you know what, one day I could have better, and is holding on to that hope, even after being beaten and fucking battered. That's who you are. Or at least that's what you've been through. Who you want to be from that healing point, from that understanding that I've come this far and I've been this strong for this long and now I want better. Who you are after that is endless. There are endless options for you to choose what kind of fucking superhero you want to be, what powers you want to have, what part of the fucking Marvel universe you want to save. It's endless. There is no stopping after that. And hopefully you can hold on to that aggression for that motherfucker that act like they kind of might want to fix their lips to say some dumb shit. Hold on to them boxing gloves. Hold on to the Vaseline. Because they might try it, might be like, oh no, she do look a little more brilliant than usual, but I still might be able to poke a little bit. Break their fingers every time. Every time send those reminders. Because who you are does not stop with the mistakes that you made. It doesn't stop with the shit that you used to tolerate, the boundaries that you used to not respect. It doesn't stop with the limited way you used to see yourself. That's not where it stops. Those are things that you've been through. Oh, I love that. We've learned so much from you. That's why we are who we are. I guess I'll end this by saying, please stop. Or this isn't ending, but part of as we're coming closer to a close, I'll say, please stop over empathizing with people who do not give a fuck, or who say they give a fuck and their actions do not show that, or the level of harm that they've done in your heart does not surpass the level of good. This is the good, this is the harm. Stop making excuses for people. If they wanted to do better, this isn't every situation, but I'm going to just keep it for the situation. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. If they wanted to do better, they would. You, on the other hand, you have to want better, and you have to do better. And part of that is getting rid of that dumb shit, that negative voice in your head that's trying to convince you of shit that just is not fucking true. It's up to you, and it's your responsibility to get rid of that motherfucker so you can move on and feel better and do better. And I'm sorry for the times that you had to, that it was your natural reaction to welcome harm, to seek it, attract it, or exist within it. I'm sorry for whatever happened that made you feel like that shit was normal. That mediocre ass shit was normal. And I'm sorry that something happened that made you feel like it was normal to have a bully on your back all the time. That just became your existence. That became how you did. And the crazy part is you still did all this amazing shit. And this is for myself and whoever else needs to hear it. You still survived and did all of this amazing shit while having that shit around you, existing and doing too much. You still was doing what you were doing. Imagine what you could do if you let that person go. Let the negative thoughts in your mind go. And I talk about this on Spotify. The fucking control that I felt, the joy, the peace that I felt since then, I don't know when I felt that last. I mean, I could tell you, actually, I know exactly when the last time I felt that shit. Probably beginning of the fucking pandemic. That freedom from all of the fucking, oh my God, like I just, whatever the situation was. And that's something that only you can come to terms with. That's something that only I can do for myself. That's something only you can do for yourself. We've been on here for 30 minutes. That's really everything that I have to say. I think that God has made self-love is so general. God has made this journey of me letting go of my negative thoughts and how I think of myself one of my biggest testimonies right now. I said that this year, my New Year's resolution, is positive thoughts. And that might sound so like, oh girl, but it's like, no, seriously, because I had a lot of negative ones. I speak highly of myself. Speak highly of yourself. Behind closed doors, in your mind, in front of people, to people. Speak highly of yourself. Speak of your victories. And if you're going to speak of your losses, speak of them as if they are already turning into victories, because they are, because that's who you are. Get rid of anything that is less than that. I don't care if it's a person. I don't care if it's a check. Nothing is worth your peace of mind. Nothing is worth you feeling victorious before you fucking die. Like, what the fuck? I think that's all I have to say. And the person that you are forgiving that abused you or hurt you or harmed you when you were younger, forgiveness and internalizing are two different things. Sometimes we say, oh, I forgive you. But the forgiveness is coming from a space of, oh, I normalized it. So what am I really forgiving anyway? To forgive, you have to realize that something was done. You can't just live your life saying that you forgave someone when all you really did was justify it and made it make sense. And so you think that was forgiveness. No, the fuck it wasn't. That was you justifying it. If I justified it, I don't have nothing to forgive. You have to realize that something was fucking wrong. Then you forgive it. And the forgiveness is for yourself. But you do not do, number one, do what I just said, but number two, you also do not, I lost my train of thought. The thing that came to me though was carry it. You don't carry it and you don't practice it for yourself. You can forgive somebody, and which is for you. You can forgive somebody and still be around them. I'm not saying you have to cut this person off necessarily. I'm not saying you have to never speak to them again. But you can realize in your mind that shit was terrible, and never do that shit again, or never be in that experience again. Is there anything else? Thank you all for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having these vulnerable conversations with me, because they're not easy. And I'm still learning them, going through it, growing through it as I'm talking to y'all. And I'll be updating everyone as I go on this journey. There's already probably like 4 episodes out about this, about negative self-talk and how I've been dealing with it. I mean, not dealing with it, letting it go, and how my life has been since then. Excuse me. If you would like, please share this with somebody who you feel like is very strong but is hard on themselves, because that's another, that's a whole nother, that's a big sign of negative self-talk. When you're hard on yourself, like extra hard, that's a sign of negative self-talk. And we sometimes take pride in it. Like, oh, because of me being hard on myself, I'm this level of successful, or I'm this level of on point, or I'm this level of this, that, and the third. I love that for you, sweetie. We love it. Hair done, nails done, everything did. I love that. Are you happy with yourself? Like, how much pain do you endure to have to feel okay? To feel good about yourself? And that's not every situation. Some of us just bad bitches. I is one. But still, the baddest bitches, they be having that shit sometimes. Check on your bad bitches. Send this to a bad bitch that you want to check on. Make sure she's good. Make sure she's straight, not in sexuality sense. Make sure she feels healthy. Thank you all for being here. This has actually been very lovely. It was very much so in and out. We love to see it. And I'll see you all Monday, every Monday between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Wednesday, check Spotify. Friday, check Spotify, because I got episodes Wednesday and Friday. Thank you. I hope that this served you, healed you in some way. Until next time, fly high, butterflies. I need to get an outro, like a little